Hey, so welcome to the first video of Coach's Corner. I don't know why I said that weird. Coach's Corner. Why would I say that? On literally the first video, I messed it up. All right. So my name is Orlando. Orlando Alonso. If you don't know me, you've never. If this is the first time you see this video, I have just started a newsletter on Substack. You can find it on my Facebook, Instagram, and there'll be a link down below. Now let me explain a little bit of what I'm trying to do here. I am not anybody famous in Jiu-Jitsu. All right, I'm not some kind of super competitor. I don't have anything worse, an accolade, or accolades for that matter, to my jiu-jitsu degree or to my jiu-jitsu history. What I am is a 10-year business owner and a diligent instructor. I teach almost all of my classes for the last 10 years. I definitely have had some of my students jump in and they help me out. I have great students. I have about, how many black belts do I have now? I don't know, 6 or 7. Let's see, Mike, Amy. You know what, I'm not gonna say that because I'm probably gonna forget one of them as I'm counting them, and then they're gonna get angry. So I've had black belts that have been with me that since they were white belts. They first started out with me from the very beginning. And I live in Southern California, so if you live in Southern California, you have to have a pretty tough school. You know, we have a lot of great competitors here, and you have to be on top of it. I've been fortunate enough to have had an incredible amount of great instructors. Carlson Gracie Jr. gave me my black belt. I'm part of the Carlson Gracie team. I've had ADCC winner Joel Assis as my instructor for a while. He gave me my purple belt. When I first started Jiu-Jitsu, I was with Chris Brennan, the West Side Strangler, who his son now, Lucas Brennan, fights for, I think it's Belliver. And I've had an incredible time. Oh, you know what? The person who gave me my blue belt was Hani Aya, who fights in the UFC. He's won the worlds. He's won ADCC. This is, I've gotten, because I live in Southern California, and I started so long ago, I've been able to just be around some amazing competitors and instructors. And because of that, I've been able to take all that information and now have a school, which we just celebrated 10 years, and have it grow to be successful. I don't know where you are in your school's development. Maybe you're brand new and you just opened, or you've been open for a while. Whatever the case may be, I hope that whatever I share with you today helps. Because, man, I wish somebody would have helped me, or I would have been able to see somebody to tell me, hey, these are certain things that you should say or do when you're running a school. Because running a school is hard. It's not exactly easy, especially in the beginning. Right now, at this point, I have it down to a pattern. And we'll talk about that in maybe in another video or in another newsletter about patterns and how they help you really understand the ins and outs of what you're trying to accomplish. But today we're going to talk about my last newsletter that I just came out with on last Sunday, which is the first 3 things I tell to a new student, specifically children. So this is where I feel I do well. I have a lot of kids, and it's my favorite thing. I absolutely love teaching kids. And my adults know this. That my adults know that I like teaching the kids more than adults. I love my adults. I love my adult class. They have become very good friends to me. If anything, they're more like family. But I personally enjoy teaching kids, and I'll explain that another day. But let's go back to the title or the subject of that newsletter, which was what are the first 3 things that I say to a student. So a student walks in for the first time. At my school, people can sign up to get a free week trial. That's what I do since the very beginning. And the first thing I say when they come in is like, hey, my name is Coach. I'm very strict. Just do what I say when I say it and do it fast, and you're going to have a good time. You're going to get beat up today, but hey, don't worry about it. It's not going to be anything terrible, and it's going to be okay. You're going to probably have fun at the end of the day. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. Sounds good? All right. Come with me. I'm going to show you how to bow on the mat. I take them over to the mat. I show them how to bow. And then next week, I'm going to talk about the magic moment of when I do that, what happens right after. And what happens right after that moment is one of the main reasons kids come back to my school immediately. They want to come back, they want to sign up, they can't wait to come back the next day because of what happens right when I bring them over, right after I bring them over to show how to get on the mat. My school is successful. it does well. Am I, I'm not running $1 million school. I'm pretty sure there's people out there that are doing that. But for what I do and the amount of time that I work and put my hours in, it runs well. It does well. My 4 p.m. class, which teaches kids 7 and 11, and that's the youngest that I take is 7 and up. I sometimes can't take students for 2 to 3 months. I just can't. There's just no room. It's that popular of a class. But going back to those 3 things. So let's talk about that little speech that I gave him. The first thing I said was I introduced myself. My name is Coach. I like Coach. I've never liked to be called professor. It was just never in me. And one of the reasons also I like Coach is it's American. And in America, Coach is somebody that's there to help you progress in a sporting situation. I cannot take myself serious enough to be called a sensei or a master or a professor. I just can't. That's just me. You can maybe. Maybe that's what you feel that you've earned and that's what you should. Man, I have other students where I go anywhere else, they call me professor. I don't try to change that. I don't try to fix anybody. It's just in my own school, I like to be called Coach. Because Coach in America means I'm allowed to yell at your kids. All right? If you've ever been coached, you know that coach yelled at you at one point or another to get you, to light a fire up your ass. And I like that because sometimes, dude, you got to yell. You got to push kids. And that's my job. Which brings me to the next step. Or I'm sorry, not yet. The next part is I'm strict. Now, when I first opened the school, I was very strict. And I'll talk about that in another day. But now I'm not strict in the same way. If anything, man, I love these kids. I want them to be happy. I like to see them laugh. I like to make them laugh. I like to have them make me laugh. Because kids are freaking great. They do the funniest things. They do the most wrong things. And we can laugh about it because they're kids. And I remind them that all the time, which we'll talk about that maybe another day. But I am strict in the sense of, if I say go there, go there. Let's go there right now. And you better be running. We're not wasting time. I'm big on time. We cannot be wasting time. We're not going to lollygag and walk around and just, and obviously I'm not going to let people talk in the middle of my class, especially when I'm teaching. If I see something like that, things are going to happen. There's going to be repercussions, and they know that. So that is where I'm strict. But the last part is I tell them they're going to get beat up. You have to be honest. I tell them they're going to get beat up. Now, why would I do such a thing? Now, at my school, every new kid that walks in spars. They roll. Now, keep in mind, they don't roll with just anybody. They always roll with one of my higher students. And as you know, because if you run a jiu-jitsu school, your higher students have the ability to control themselves, to be able to understand certain things. And with kids, it's much easier to control those kids. Like, it's pretty easy to shoot a double leg on a brand new kid, get to mount, and do a Americana or paintbrush. I call them paintbrushes to my kids. And it's pretty easy to do that to have that child be able to spar because they're not really going to get hurt. A double leg is not a hip throw over the head, or it's a much safer throw. It's, grab, circle, put their butt on the ground and proceed forward. We also teach them how to fall before they start fighting, but they spar. I want them to spar. And now there's 2 reasons for this. The first reason is I want them to know what they're getting themselves into. And I need the parents to know what they're getting themselves into. I don't want parents that freak out all of a sudden when they see little Bobby or little Billy catching an ass whooping. They need to, and if they do freak out, they won't come back the next day. And that's okay. At least they brought them. At least they tried it out. But that way they know what they're getting themselves into, 1. And 2, I need kids to learn how to tap out. That is more important to me, way more important to me than them being able to do an arm bar, get to guard, any of those things. It's learning how to tap out. So I tell them from the very beginning, you're going to get beat up. All right? Because I also need to stress them out, which goes back to what I said earlier. Part of my job when teaching kids is to stress kids out. I am a coach. These kids have to perform under duress. They have to be able to understand I am in a serious situation and I have to do exactly what this person said because that will help me get out of this situation or at least let me deal with it. I do this on purpose because I don't teach jiu-jitsu for medals. We do tournaments, and I know a lot of people say this. We do a ton of tournaments. I just had one of the kids that's been with me for almost 8 or 9 years. He's 15 now. No, he just turned 16. He won Advanced Juvenile at ADCC. We just had it over here, I think, in Costa Mesa. Not one, he did great, you know. So we do compete. But my main concern is not competing when it comes to kids. Maybe it is for you, and I'm not going to disagree with you, brother or sister. You do what you want with your school. But for me, jiu-jitsu is for fighting, first and foremost, to defend yourself. And that is what I feel is the most important thing that I need to instill in these kids is how to defend yourself. And one of the best parts of learning that is not just the physical, but the mental. So I stress them out so they can already start getting ready for what's going to be up ahead. So they can start accepting and standing up, even in fear, to do what's going to be asked of them. So those are the first 3 things. I tell them my name, I tell them that I'm strict, and I tell them they're going to get beat up. In later videos and other newsletters, you'll see other aspects of my teaching and how I've been doing it for the last 10 years. And I hope you enjoy these videos. And if you don't, or there's something that you want to add or you want to comment, man, tell me. Maybe there's something I can touch upon. Maybe there's a question that you have that I can talk about. And if there is, ask. Ask. Because like I said, 10 years ago when I opened this school, I didn't have a lot of people to ask. And whereas, you know, technology isn't what it is today. This just didn't exist really to be able to get on YouTube and find somebody to talk to you directly about what it is to run a school. Like a regular school. Like I said, I'm not, you know, I have AOJ, Atos, Legion within driving distance from where I live. So I am not some mega school or mega competitor school. I am a school that has been training, putting out good competitors, but more importantly, growing a school where children, which eventually turn to teenagers and to adults, building confidence with their jiu-jitsu because it works and they're tough. That's what's important to me, to be able to give kids the ability to defend themselves first. Everything else is secondary. But having kids defend themselves, that's first and foremost. All right, that's all I got. Wednesday, I don't know if tonight's Tuesday night. Tomorrow, though, if you subscribe to my Substack, please subscribe. Tomorrow will be whatever Wednesday. So every Sunday, I'll be sending out a newsletter in particular about kids jiu-jitsu. But Wednesdays, I'll be sending out a newsletter about whatever I want. And tomorrow's newsletter is going to be pretty funny. I think you guys will enjoy it. It has nothing to do with jiu-jitsu, but about current events in the world. And that's all I got. So thank you for watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, please ask. I am drinking wine. It's late at night. And by golly, I deserve it. So, all right. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.